peaceful morning can turn into a frightening scene when unexpected objects fall from above. Throughout history, several unexplained phenomena have been recorded, with the most varied elements literally falling from the sky. From fish to meteors, from mysterious substances to valuable objects, today you will learn about bizarre and shocking things that have fallen from the sky. Are you curious? Join us and let's go. Number 17. The Rain of Blood in China. In May 2022, the sky over Hilton province in China turned into a real horror movie. It all started with a normal storm, thunder, lightning, the whole shebang. But then the rain started to turn blood red. The panic was so great that hundreds of people ended up in the hospital from the fright. Can you imagine opening the window and seeing red drops falling from the sky? Scientists rushed to explain that it was a natural phenomenon caused by microscopic particles in the atmosphere. But many people didn't buy that story. Throughout history, various cultures had seen blood rain as a sign of the apocalypse. In ancient literature, every time red rain appeared, misfortune was already on the way. The phenomenon was so intense that it turned entire streets into red rivers, and people began to save samples of the water in bottles as a reminder of that crazy day. Number 16. Orange snow in Siberia. In 2007, Siberia became a real alien movie set when an orange snow covered more than 100 square kilometers. It started at the end of January when residents woke up and couldn't believe their eyes. Everything was covered in a layer of orange and oily snow. Analysis showed that this crazy snow had 4 times more iron than normal, and it didn't stop there. Some parts were red, others yellow. It looked like someone had thrown paint in the middle of the blizzard. The colorful snow spread across several countries, including Russia, Bulgaria, Ukraine, Romania, and Moldova. Meteorologists discovered that strong winds had brought dust from the Sahara Desert mixed with snow from Siberia, creating a unique spectacle that left more than 27,000 people with their jaws dropped. Number 15. The Rain of Stones from the Etna volcano. In November 2013, the people of Sicily got a real surprise. Mount Etna, that hot volcano in the region, decided to do a solo performance and started dropping thousands of volcanic rocks from the sky. It was like hail, except instead of ice, it was chunks of hot rock. The cars were covered in volcanic confetti, and people had to run under umbrellas, which, let's face it, aren't very useful against volcanic rock. The ground turned black. It looked like coal had snowed. And it wasn't just dust. It was real rocks. The people filming had to hide because the rocks kept falling. It was like a rave party thrown by the volcano, except instead of glitter, rocks were falling. I have a question for you. First, I'd like to tell you that it's possible to keep up with the biggest curiosities of our world every day. But for that, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So, have you subscribed yet? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Now that you've done that, let's go. Number 14. The Rain of Meat in Kentucky. It was March 1876 when one of the most bizarre events in Kentucky history happened. It started raining meat. That's right, chunks of red meat falling from the sky like raindrops. A farmer's wife was the first to witness the surreal sight. Her garden was covered in chunks of fresh meat, enough to fill an entire wagon. The event became known as the Kentucky Meat Shower and lasted for several minutes, covering an area measuring 300 by 150 feet. No one could identify exactly what kind of meat it was. Some said it was beef, sheep, deer, bear, horse, and even human meat. The mystery has never been completely solved, but one theory suggests that a flock of vultures may have vomited it into the air after eating too much. Number 13. The Snake Invasion of Memphis. Just imagine opening your front door and seeing thousands of snakes falling from the sky. That's exactly what happened in Memphis on January 15, 1877. A gigantic mass of brown garter snakes began to descend on Bangs Avenue, creating a scene worthy of a horror movie. The snakes were alive and moving, which made everything even more frightening. The number of reptiles was so large that no one was able to make an accurate count, but witnesses spoke of thousands of them. Since Memphis doesn't have hurricanes, which could explain the transport of the snakes through the air, the case became a mystery that persists to this day. The snakes were all of the same species and were similar in size, which left scientists even more intrigued. The event ended up going down in the record books as one of the most unexplained phenomena in the city's history. Number 12. Red rain in Colombia. In 2008, residents of the Colombian highlands woke up to a sight that seemed straight out of a horror movie. Red drops falling from the sky, staining everything they touched with a frightening scarlet color. The phenomenon was so intense that a local bacteriologist decided to investigate the samples, reaching a shocking conclusion: the rainwater contained traces of blood. It was not the first time something like this had happened in history. Ancient records, including Homer's Iliad back in the 7th century BC, already spoke of bloody rains. Scientists discovered that the phenomenon was related to red microorganisms that were carried by air currents and mixed with the rainwater. Analysis showed a high concentration of metallic particles and other elements that gave it that frightening color. The red rain lasted for several hours and covered a huge area, leaving marks on walls, clothes, and even cars parked on the streets. Number 11. The CIA Mystery Box. It was 1962 when David McPherson, out in the woods in Moon New Rushwing, came across a white box full of lenses hanging from a parachute. It looked like something out of a spy movie. And it was. His family kept that strange thing until the Canadian Army showed up, wanting to take it away. Years later, the CIA revealed the truth. The box was part of Project Genitrix, a secret mission by President Eisenhower to spy on the Soviet Union. They sent balloons equipped with super powerful cameras to take pictures from up high. Just imagine. That innocent little box that fell into McPherson's backyard was part of a top-secret international espionage operation. The project released hundreds of these spy balloons, but most of them were never found. The McPherson family ended up returning the box in exchange for some answers. But to this day, there are people looking for other lost CIA gifts out there. Number 10. The Angel Woman Who Fell from Heaven. An image went viral on social media showing what appeared to be a woman with white wings lying on the ground, like an angel who had lost a celestial battle. The figure was there, lying face down, with featherless wings, looking very real. People on social media went crazy. They started saying it was a sign of the apocalypse, especially since NASA had just discovered a planet similar to Earth, 1,400 light-years away. Some people said it was an alien disguised as an angel, while others swore it was a divine message. In the end, it was a very well-made work of art, but it had already become a craze on the internet. The coincidence with NASA's discovery only made everyone even more excited. Number 9. Star Jelly in Washington. In the summer of 1994, residents of Oakville, Washington, witnessed one of the most bizarre events in modern history. Small, clear, gelatinous blobs, each about half the size of a grain of rice, began falling from the sky during a normal thunderstorm. The sticky substance covered an area of 20 square miles, and most alarmingly, people who came into contact with the material developed severe flu-like symptoms. Laboratory tests revealed that the jelly contained 2 types of bacteria, including a strain normally found in the human digestive system. The entire city was put on alert, and over the next 3 weeks, 5 more similar occurrences were recorded. Scientists discovered that the mysterious substance had characteristics similar to those found in jellyfish waste and seaweed. Number 8. The meteor that hit Ann Hodges. If you think winning the lottery is hard, imagine being hit by a meteor. On November 30th, 1954, Ann Hodges made history as the only person officially recorded to have been directly hit by a meteorite. She was taking a peaceful nap on the couch in her Alabama home when a 3.9 kilograms meteor, traveling at 200 kilometers per hour, crashed through the roof, hit the radio, and hit her right in the hip. The meteorite was about 4.5 billion years old and chose Ann's living room to make its grand entrance to Earth. Experts calculated that the chances of something like that happening are lower than being hit by lightning, a tornado, and a hurricane all at the same time. Ann survived the impact, suffered a massive bruise, and became an instant celebrity. Even the meteorite became a museum piece. Number 7. The mysterious fish rain in Honduras. In Yoro, Honduras, one of the most intriguing phenomena in the world takes place: the lluvia de peces, fish rain. For more than a century, small silver fish have fallen from the sky during heavy storms, an event that occurs up to 4 times a year. The phenomenon is so significant that since 1998, the city has held an annual festival to celebrate this unique occurrence. National Geographic sent a team in the 1970s to document the event, managing to record one of the few scientifically verified accounts of this peculiar rain. The fish that fall are always of the same species, fresh and alive, leaving scientists puzzled as to their origin. The local population considers the event a divine blessing and a source of free food. Number 6. The birds that crashed in Mexico. It sounds like a scene from a horror movie, but it really happened in Mexico. Hundreds of blackbirds started falling from the sky out of nowhere. A security camera caught it all. One minute everyone was calm, the next there was a giant spiral of birds descending like black smoke. Many managed to fly away again, but a lot weren't so lucky. Everyone started speculating. Was it toxic gas? Electric shock? A predator attacking? Bird experts said it was probably a hawk or eagle that scared the whole flock, making them panic and dive straight to the ground. It's like when someone shouts fire in a crowded place, everyone runs away without thinking. The residents spent ages picking the poor little birds off the streets, and the video went viral around the world. Number 5. The golden rain in Siberia. In March 2018, the skies over Siberia began to rain gold, literally. An Antonov An-12 cargo plane, a relic of the Cold War, took off carrying a fortune, $378 million in gold, platinum, and diamonds. During takeoff, the cargo door opened, and about 200 gold bars, weighing 3.4 tons in total, fell onto the ground near Yakutsk airport. The white Siberian snow turned into a golden carpet, and a modern-day gold rush began. Locals went out to search for the missing bars, but the police quickly cordoned off the area. The plane had to make an emergency landing 16 kilometers away at Magin Airport. Amazingly, most of the cargo was recovered, but some bars were never found. Number 4. The mysterious blue ice of airplanes. Everyone has heard of hailstorms, but what about blue ice? Between 1979 and 2013, at least 27 cases of this peculiar ice impact were recorded. The name comes from the color of the disinfectant used in airplane bathrooms, which freezes at high altitudes along with, well, you know what? In January 2018, a block of this blue ice fell on an Indian village weighing between 10 and 12 kilos. The impact was so strong that it made a hole in the ground. Authorities investigated and discovered that it was indeed sanitary ice that had leaked from a plane that had passed by. The case became international news and sparked a debate about air safety. After all, nobody wants to be hit by a meteor like that, right? Number 3. The cosmonaut who fell from the stars. In April 1967, one of the saddest stories of the space race happened. Vladimir Komarov, a very brave Soviet cosmonaut, was piloting the Soyuz 1 spacecraft when everything went wrong. It was supposed to be another cool mission to show that the Soviet Union was doing well in space, but it turned into a tragedy. When the spacecraft began to return to Earth at an altitude of 7,000 meters, the parachute that was supposed to make a soft landing got really tangled. Without a reserve parachute, there was no way out. Komarov became a hero in Moscow, and his ashes were kept in a special place in the Kremlin wall. The worst part is that he already knew that the spacecraft was in trouble, but he refused to cancel the mission because he knew that his friend Yuri Gagarin would be his replacement. It's the kind of hero story that really happens. He preferred to risk his own life to save his friends. Number 2. The cloud of ravenous locusts. In 2017, a Russian truck driver was driving along in the Republic of Dagestan when he saw a gray cloud approaching. But it wasn't just any cloud. It was a huge swarm of hungry locusts. Just imagine a wall of flying insects coming towards you while you're trapped inside your truck. It was really bad. The locusts destroyed more than 114,000 hectares of crops. It was like an alien army invading Earth, except instead of Martians, they were tiny, super hungry creatures measuring about 5 centimeters. The government had to declare a state of emergency and send planes to spray insecticide because another giant swarm was coming. The poor truck driver recorded the whole thing, and the video went viral on the internet. It looked like a scene from a disaster movie, except it was real life. Number 1. The invasion of the flying spiders. Some people are afraid of spiders. Now imagine thousands of them falling from the sky. The phenomenon of spider rain is more common than you might think and occurs in many places around the world. Spiders use a technique called ballooning. They climb to high points, release silk threads into the air, and let themselves be carried by the wind, looking like little furry parachutists. When this happens en masse, there can be thousands, even millions of spiders floating through the sky. In 2015, in South Australia, residents saw the sky covered in a snow of spider webs, with the arachnids gently descending everywhere. The phenomenon lasted for several hours and covered trees, cars, and houses with a white layer of silk. The spiders were fleeing a flood, but ended up creating a scene that seemed like something out of a nightmare for those who suffer from arachnophobia. Which of these items shocked you the most? Tell me in the comments below. Now I'm going to recommend this video that's appearing on the screen. Click on it to check it out, because I've selected it especially for you. Well, that's it, and until next time, Curious One.